This video is the first in a series of videos on liquidity, which is one of the measures of the financial health of a business. All of the videos on all of the financial measures will simply come from the J&J Farms, which is a hypothetical illustrated farm that I have provided for you. A copy of the spreadsheet for J&J Farms is on Moodle for your reference. The J&J Farm spreadsheet is broken into two sheets. The workbook's got 2 pages, one for the income statement, and it's got 2 years, and then one for the balance sheet where it's got several years. In showing you these ratios or financial measures, I'm going to do the 2014 ones for you, but then you should do the ones for the other years so that you can answer questions on the quizzes. The first financial ratio under the topic liquidity has to do with something called the current ratio. Now, the current ratio is simply defined as current assets divided by current liabilities. If you look at the spreadsheet, you go back up to the asset portion, and you'll see that the current assets of this J&J Farms, 418,984. And if you go down here and look at current liabilities, you'll see it's 176,012. Now, you know current liabilities are what's due in the next 12 months. In other words, in the next year, not the previous year, because that's already done. It's what's due in the next 12 months. When you look at current assets, these are things that the farm has that are either cash or things that are being held for sale. So the current ratio is really, do you have enough current assets, cash, and things held for sale to pay your short run liabilities? So the idea of liquidity is a short run concept, being able to pay your debts in the next year. It doesn't have anything really to do with overall wealth. It just has to do with the short-term ability to pay. So current ratio for this particular farm would simply be equal to, it'd be equal to 418,984 divided by 176,012. That's what that would be your current ratio. So now let's go put that into the spreadsheet and see what we get. So right here under current ratio, I'll go equals, go click on the current farm assets, divide by current farm liabilities, and I get a number 2.38. So what does that number tell me? It says for every $1 that's due in the coming year, coming fiscal year, I've got $2.38 in current assets. That means assets that are either cash or I'm holding for sale. Now, one thing about liquidity that you need to really understand is liquidity measures the ability of uh, the short run ability to pay off short-term debts. Sometimes a farm can have a liquidity problem. In other words, that ratio might be close to 1 or even less than 1, which means they don't have enough current assets to pay off current debt. But it doesn't necessarily mean the farm business has a wealth problem. Think about this. What if you had a farmer that owns 1,000 acres of land, free and clear of debt, maybe inherited it? That land's worth $3,000 an acre. So that's $3 million worth of assets. Maybe that farmer has another $500,000 in machinery. So that's $3.5 million worth of assets. That same farm might have faced very low commodity prices the past year and simply did not generate enough revenue or does not have enough current assets, in other words, cash or things in storage or things ready to be sold, to cover his current liabilities. For example, he might not have enough dollars to pay his operating loan. So down under current liabilities, he's got an operating loan balance because he didn't have enough cash to pay it. That would be a liquidity problem. But liquidity problems doesn't necessarily mean a wealth issue. However, chronic liquidity problems can always lead to some serious financial issues, because if you can't pay those debts year in, year out, eventually you're going to have to start selling off some of those non-current assets like land or machinery or breeding stock or something in order to pay your debts. But please remember now that the current ratio measures liquidity, which is a short run ability to pay, not it's not estimating the overall farm's ability to pay. That will come when we discuss solvency.